What's up, YouTube? Allswine here. Today I'm bringing my personal top 5 tips of do's and don'ts, some kind of helpful things I did along the way to kind of pay attention to the right things to do, try and avoid some of the wrong things to do, and a lot of personal stuff, honestly. I mean, this could be different per playstyle, but a lot of these tips really helped me get to a point that I feel I am, at a comfortable, capable late game that I can fight all the bosses, I can do all the content, and, with the mobile release just happening, and I think they're top one in 3 different regions for mobile, like, Seven Deadly Sins Origins is. And there's still new players coming in all the time, with PlayStation advertisements and stuff playing on YouTube constantly. I just wanted to put out a video to hopefully help anyone I can kind of steer them in the right direction. I hope you like, and if it helps you in any way, then please feel free to like and subscribe and comment down below on anything you think I missed or that you would do differently. Alright guys, so just to jump in with a quick early tip, if you plan to play this on multiplayer, do make sure that your server is selected to the same one as your friends, because as you just seen, I had Meliodas, I swap over to this server from east to west, and I will be on a completely separate save. You have different saves per server and none of it transfers between, so if your friends select a different server than you won't be able to play with them. Alright guys, so for tip 1 I have resource management. To start off with, I would like to talk about Platinum and Flowers of Pure Love. The Platinum and Flowers respawn daily, but they are some of the lowest abundancy materials and some of the most sought after and needed when you get, mid to late game. So getting them early will definitely help. Platinum, helps you enhance your weapons and tier them up. The platinum can also be used for engravings and enchant stones, or the little enchant orbs. And the Flowers of Pure Love aren't super necessary, but if you do plan to play your own version of Pokemon in Seven Deadly Sins and you want to capture all the mounts or even fill out the codex, then you're definitely going to want to farm these up a little bit because they can be a pain later on. And next I'm going to be covering your resources that you'll dump into purple gear, specifically the crafted purple gear. I'm talking about the Ruler of the Ocean set and any of the Crimson Flame set, the stuff that upgrades into SSR variants. Do not put your enhancement materials, your limit break materials, stuff like that into these items, because when you go to consume them to create the SSR variant, they will not carry the enhancements over. You will lose everything you put into them. Now, that's not to be said about the engravings, because engravings work a lot differently. So if you were to upgrade your armor before putting it into an engraving, it will actually carry some of the refinement over to the armor. And say, for instance, you get a chest piece, to refinement 3, refinement 4, refinement 5, that XP will go into your engraving and upgrade it. Also, make sure that you're utilizing your cube keys daily, so try to burst all of them out and get them all used before the next daily reset. Use them in stuff that you actually need, and keep in mind that as you get higher and you do all of the, mid to late game dungeons, the late game ones will cost more. And don't use all of your keys into bad dungeons like the growth dungeon, which this one specifically, its allure is the hero token, but the hero token can actually be farmed, a lot better and with a lot more stuff off of the world bosses. So you can kill like the Banacrow here, get a lot more rewards and a guaranteed heroes token every single time on world level 4. Also try to keep all of your cube key bundles until later on into the game, where you can burst them all out on heavy grinds and utilize them just a little bit better. Alright, for tip 2, I just want to say focus on one build. And what I mean by that is focus on 1 or 2 characters, try to get them leveled, try to get them upgraded, try to get them good weapons, good armor, good everything. That's what I did with Meliodas. As you can see here, I have my build on screen. I tried to really just prioritize making him hit like an absolute truck. Just make him go unga bunga in every dungeon and in every boss fight and make him just slap people down. And so I burst every bit of my material from the start of the campaign to the end, and I made him hit really hard. And to get a character to just absolutely slap people, every stat counts. So I'm talking all of your mastery stuff, as you can see on the right side, it says axe mastery, and then it says applies to all weapons. So your masteries, even on other weapons, will carry over to the main weapon you use, just not the little mastery tree points. So the 4 little points around each one, those are, weapon specific, but all the stats on the right side all apply. So getting it to mastery 4 and maxing it out to get that potential is very, very worth it. It increases your damage, your defense, everything exponentially. Ultimately, just really, really try to do this and try to prioritize your, materials on one person, or, maybe 1 to 2 characters. Of course, if you're a whale, this doesn't apply to you. You can just buy your materials and you don't count. But for free-to-play players, or for people who only have a couple dollars to spend, maybe to grab the 99-cent, SSR, or you want to grab the Star Fragment bundle for $5 every day for 28 days, whatever, that's fine. But if you have, an insane amount of money, this doesn't apply to you. This applies to the people who really struggle and have limited resources to get these characters to hit really hard, to get these characters to perform. Like I said, definitely focus on 1 to 2 characters, maximize them out, get your weapons upgraded, limit broken, make sure you have multiple weapons upgraded. Try to have the highest rarity weapons you can with the best stats you can, the best gear you can. Definitely get your engravings, because those set bonuses for your characters are tremendous. You can use Origin DB to find out what the engravings do, and then follow that up with choosing the right one for your character. But ultimately, focus 1 or 2, and you will definitely have a lot of fun. Alright guys, so for tip 3, I've got team composition. Like I said before, Meletis is the center of my team. He's the backbone. So with that, I've got everybody else supporting him. I have barriers on Gila. I have magic charge efficiency and crit damage on Manny. And I have Tiora giving me heals. Ultimately, they are a pretty decent support team, while also having, 2 of the characters given away at the very beginning of the game. So Gila, you'll get on your day 1 login, and you'll get Tiora from just playing the story. They're both really, really nice supports to have early on, because they give you a lot of forgiveness in fights, and will allow you also to start, trying to think of how you want to build your team as you learn how to play a little better. Another way to find characters that kind of work together and synergize is to look at the combined attacks, so you can figure out what heroes can ult together. This will allow you to burst enemies a lot faster with certain combined attacks, do a lot more damage. They all have different little things that they can do and little niches, but ultimately this is just another way to find characters that work together, and really just try to synergize your team around what your main character or main 2 characters are doing. That way, your whole team kind of functions together as one unit. Alright guys, and for tip 4, I've got combat, or more so combat tips. Something to keep track on and, remind yourself is to not spam your dodge button every single time an attack's thrown at you. It can be a little buggy or a little glitchy sometimes, but ultimately, if you pay attention to the animations, you can kind of figure out when you need to dodge certain stuff. So sitting here watching the boss for a minute, watch him run around, do some weird stuff, and then realize, okay, when I see that happening, that's when my chance to dodge is. You can conserve your stamina, pay attention to it a bit more, and ultimately, you will find yourself in less compromising situations where there's this giant red circle, you're dead center of it, and oh no, my stamina's gone, so now you're getting slapped with some heavy hitting ability that just deletes your health bar. It's not, a perfect method. Not everything's going to work that way. There are still times where some attacks can be a little buggy or have some forgiving hitboxes for the enemies, like right here, where I think I'm going to dodge it, and the edge of the ball catches me. It's not always going to work. It's not a perfect ideology, but it will definitely save you a lot more than not. Another thing to cover is tag swapping and skill utilization. So just make sure that, a lot of these times, once you have yourself a little team comp up, to just face roll your 1, 2, 3, 4 and get all your skills out there often. Utilize them correctly and in the right orders and stuff, so you kind of have a pattern in your brain of, okay, I need to normal skill, special skill, swap, normal skill, swap, special kill, swap. But try to make sure that you've got all of your skill combos in order and all of your swaps in order. And just utilize those as much as possible, because your ult gauge will build super, super fast. You know, you swap skill, swap skill, swap, and you'll just absolutely delete stuff. Another thing to keep in mind is that your ults do have iframes. So if you're in a bad spot, it's not a bad idea to ult. You will completely circumvent, you know, white mechanics and heavy damage like the Arachne dungeon boss as an example. Alright guys, and for tip 5, I have exploration and captures. To start it off, I want to showcase a little mechanic that can work with dash abilities on mounts. So it doesn't work for the horse, but for the Nightcat and Hawk specifically, they both have a dash jump that they can utilize. So you will dash and then proceed to jump, 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 and you will go way, way faster than just a basic running mount. Like I said, to showcase this, I set up a little mini race. I set a point A and a point B, you know, a start and a finish. And I made the Nightcat, which is an automatically faster mount on land than Hawk is, run the full distance, and then, you know, swapped over to Hawk and did the dash and then jump, 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 jump. And as you'll see, the speeds are just drastically different. I mean, it's not a large amount of time, but in comparison to running the entire map, it definitely helps a lot to circumvent a lot of this time by dash jumping. If you want to flex your cool mounts, go for it, but if you want to speed through it, utilize this mechanic. All right, and next I just wanted to talk about, you know, material obtaining and material gathering and stuff. So if you go to your materials bag at the bottom of your bag, you'll actually be able to see some of the sources on the right of where to get them. Some of them you'll actually have the option to click on it, like the monster drops, the gathering, the mining, and it'll show you where on the map it is. So like this opal, if I click the mining, it'll show me exactly where it's at on the map, and I can track it and go to it. For some of the salvaging stuff, like say for instance sap, you will just salvage flowers of the same rarity as the sap you need, and it'll give you the sap you want of that rarity. Another thing I wanted to talk about is just the mounts I use personally. I use the Ancient Dragon Hawk, but all the other Hawks and the Stormbird are about the same glide speed. The Manta Ray Hawk is actually found in my last video, so if you wanted to know where to get that and utilize that, it's a pretty easy glider to get and a pretty fast one, so just check my other video out. The Nightcat is my main ground mount, just because, I mean, A, you get it for free, B, it's got the dash ability, which makes him 10 times faster, and C, I just think he looks cool. He is honestly one of the coolest mounts, in my opinion, outside of, obviously, I think the whale bird is pretty cool, but, or the whale owl. And to get onto the flying, like I just said, you know, if I could get the whale flyer, I would, but sadly, I'm stuck to the dragon. There are other flyers, but 2 of them are just other dragons, and then the phoenix, which is so hard to get, and the green horse, which is only obtainable through the end of the special codex. I also just wanted to give some tips on capturing. So for things that don't have a health bar, like the fox over here, you're going to want to slow walk and then throw your potion when it stops moving. If you throw it too late, you'll end up missing and wasting the potion and kind of looking like a jackass like I do. For things that do have a health bar, you're going to want to whittle the health bar down to the absolute lowest it can be and then attempt to capture it. A commenter had told me that that worked on the phoenix with the purple potions, and so I went to test it out myself on this bird. I used the 20% capture potions, and this Stormbird has a 30% capture resistance, but if its health bar is low enough, you have a 7% chance of capturing it with the lowest rarity potion in the game. I didn't think this would work, and the commenter completely proved me wrong. So, once again, I appreciate every bit of feedback y'all give me. Alright guys, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I just want to say big thanks for all the support I got on the last video. I'm really glad I was able to read through the comments and find out that I was able to help some people, and even a few of you were able to give me some tips and help me out, as you've seen in this video. So, just like I said, once again, huge thank you. If this helped you in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to leave a like, give me comments in the comment section, and let me know, is there anything I can do differently, anything that I did that you didn't agree with. Like I said, most of this was all personal tips and personal things that had helped me along the way as I went through the campaign. So please just feel free to leave some feedback in the comments. Subscribe if you like the content that I make, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.